Hey there, my stampin' friends. Susan here, Pumpkin Hill Stampers. So it's been a while since I've posted a video, and so I'm getting back into my stamping habits, and I'm crafting this card for a demo swap, and I thought I would just craft a cute little video for you guys, show you what I'm sharing these days, and let you know that I'm feeling better and that I'm going to start sharing some crafts again with all of you. So I hope you guys are still staying tuned. I hope you'll enjoy the video. And it's a cute little fun fold that I'll put together to you. So here we go. So this is Raven's Tail stamp set. This is coming out in the new September through December catalog. So it's been so long since I've been on that a lot of things have changed with Stampin' Up. Catalogs are now 3 times a year. And lots of stuff has retired. So my current inventory is quite dwindled, but that's okay. We're still having fun and I'm still enjoying all of my crafts because you can craft with anything you have. It doesn't have to be current. So there you go. Alright, so we're going to do this fun little fold. It's a little box base so that the card would stand up for like display, and I just loved this raven image. I know it's kind of grim sometimes, but I really do like the boldness of the bird, so I thought I'm going to do something really stand out. So what I did was I stamped and heat embossed on the pattern paper. This paper is coming from this paper is coming from Floral Charm, Floral Charm. And its color is Blackberry Bliss in the coordinating color, so I have a piece of that behind. And then I'm using Pecan Pie because that went well with the leaves. And then I just tied in Very Vanilla for my tags. So colors came together really easily. I'm using some dies to do the prep on the background pieces. I'm going to use an embossing folder to put some dry emboss on the card base. And then I'm going to die cut for the sentiment tags. So really easy if you just, cut all your pieces ahead of time and then just do the stamping and then you put it together. So let me go ahead and take you through the steps, okay? Alright, so what I start with is I have an 8.5 by 4 1/4 piece of Pecan Pie. I have a 1/4 piece of the Blackberry Bliss. My DSP is slightly smaller, just big enough for the die we're going to cut. I have 2 pieces of the Very Vanilla. One's going to go on the back of the card, so it's going to be a 4 by 4. Yeah, 4 by 4. And the other one we're going to do the 2 die cuts out of for the sentiments. And then I have this little piece of a 1/2 inch by 4 scrap that's going to go on the back. So these 2 I'm going to set aside because we'll use those when we put it together at the end. So now let me show you how I cut these. I'm not actually going to cut them on video, I'm just going to show you what I used. So I've got the perennial postage dies, okay, which are these fun stacked dies with this great little curved edging on it for a frame. So I cut the same size out of both pieces, okay, so my DSP and my Blackberry Bliss got cut out of the same with the same die. So that was easy. Then I took the Very Vanilla, and the die is from, it's this die here, and it's from Paradise Garden. Okay, Paradise Garden is the 2 pieces I used to do the 2 little dies. Set those there for a second. And then I used the coordinating embossing folder from Paradise Garden. So this came as a hybrid, so you got the folder and the die set together. And what I did is we're going to run it through, we're going to run our base piece after I show you how to score it through the folder. And what I did was I ran it through, so one side looks embossed and the other side looks debossed, right? Some pops up and some pops down. Because the way we do our base, it's going to come around and we want it all to match. Well, I wanted it all to match. So what I did was I would put my paper into my score line, right? Run it through my embossing machine, and then I leave the folder the way it is, but I flip it over and I put the other end in. Now you notice I didn't do this center piece because it's the bottom of the box, and ran it through again. So that's my little trick on embossing the 2 sides and having it so that when we put it together, it all comes together. Alright, so now let me just go through the measurements of the scoring for the base. You know what? I'm just going to show you on the cardstock itself. Okay, so here's my 4 1/4 by 8 1/2 piece. So my first score line, right, I've already embossed it, but I did the scoring first, was at 1/2 inch. So at 1/2 inch, I've got this little pop out, and I'm going to use my bone folder and crease that. Okay, and the next one was at 1 3/4. So at 1 3/4, it's going to fold up again, and I'm going to crease that. Then I went to 3, and then I went to 4 1/4. So the 3 sides of my box on the bottom are 1 1/4 each, with just a 1/2 inch edge, which is going to be the part that we adhere to the back of the card. Okay, so again, it's 1/2 inch, 1 3/4, 3, 4 1/4, and that leaves 4 1/4 on the top. So in the end, you really could fold it in half. Okay, so now let's put this, actually we're not going to put the box together quite yet. Not quite yet, but it's ready. It's ready. Okay, so now we're going to take this piece, our DSP, and our great big raven, right? And so what I do here is I emboss in Versamark, right, clear ink. So I emboss in Versamark, so I'm going to ink that right up nice and good so I get all that detail in my stamped image. And then I just put that on my grid paper so it's square. Just line that up, and then I can see through my stamp, and I'm going to put that down and press. Give it a good press. Okay, and then I'm going to peel this up. Ooh, come on off. Peel that up. And then I've got one of these fun embossing trays. So I can just set that in my embossing tray. Open up my black emboss. There we go. Sprinkle this on, put this to the side, and then I just have to shake it around and dust it off. So it's going to stick there, that clear Versamark ink. A little flick to get the extra off. Okay, so then we have this fun heat tool. I'm sure many of you have it. Our heat tool's got 2 settings, low and high, so it doesn't have to necessarily get you hot, but even on high it doesn't get super hot. And what you do is you just start on one edge of the image and you go across, and it makes it melt onto your paper. Now I would do that, but it's really kind of loud and people have complained in the past. So, but it's really cool to watch it transition from the dry to this shiny, see it in the glare, shiny finish, and it really makes the bird pop. So, and it shows all this detail of wing, and I love that we've got the lighter color of the DSP kind of showing through the bird. So, I will finish that after. Okay, so now we've got our background piece and our image piece, that's all cut. So what I did was, see here, I offset the 2 pieces. So what I want to do is I want my bird to be square, but I'm going to put this piece behind it on a tip. Okay, so you can decide how much of the tip you want, but I just want it showing a little bit. So let me flip over my embossed bird. And let me put some adhesive on here. Every time I want to do a video, it decides it doesn't want to come out. Let me try to give it a good squeeze. There we go. All right, so put some adhesive on the back, and then flip this over. Remember, I want to offset it a little bit. I really like the liquid adhesive because you can kind of shimmy it around a little bit. Now I'm going to flip the whole thing over and press so we get a good adhesion between the 2 layers. Okay, so now why didn't I fold this up and make the box before? I actually need to tuck this into the box. Why? Because I need it to fit in my card envelope, right? So I'm 4 1/4 this way, but I can only be 5 1/2 inches long. Okay, so this is 4 1/2. This one down, so if I go to 1 pleat down, okay, and measure that, that's at 5 1/2. So this is the top that I can have in my envelope. This is as big as I can be in my envelope. So I need my bird, right, to only be, would be there. But when I do that with the box, right, I put the box on it, then I'm at 4 1/4. So at 4 1/4, to get to 5 1/2, I have another 1.25 inches. So I can come up 1 1/4 inches. So what I do is I'm going to position this like this, but you see the bottom of my die ends up behind my box. So you need to use your grid paper, use your ruler, so you make sure that your total card height won't exceed the 5 1/2 inches to fit into a standard envelope. Hope that makes sense. Okay, so let's see. This is 5, this is 5 1/2 for me. I'm going to put a little mark there. So this is my 5 1/2 inch limit. So now I'm going to put adhesive on the back, maybe just the lower half. And I'm going to put my card here, and I'm going to center it. It's 4 1/4, so I've got to go 2 1/8 on each side. And I'm going to bring this one down to my bottom line, and then I'm going to put my raven in here up to the 5 1/2 so that I won't exceed my envelope. So I'm just going to press that down into the back embossed panel. Okay, so now we can go ahead and make our little box stand. So all you have to do is put adhesive right along this edge, this 1/2 inch edge. So I'm going to put some adhesive right along the 1/2 inch edge. And then you're just going to hold the flat one down, but then let this just go flat over the base of the bird. Okay, and hold that down for a second. So we get some adhesion there. While that's doing that, I'm going to flip it over, and I've got my back panel, right? So my back panel is just stepped in 1/4 inch. So my back of the card is 4 1/4 by 4 1/4. So this piece is 4 by 4. So I'm going to line the back. And then because my DSP was cut smaller than a 1/4 sheet of cardstock, I have this little piece of trim left. So I'm going to go ahead and put an edge down here that's going to tie in all the papers. So you can put a note on your card. Whoever's going to be the lucky one to get it in the mail. Okay, now that front box is probably popped up. So now you see the box can fold flat this way. So it's going to fit in that envelope. And it's going to stand up. Maybe. It's going to stand up. So it can be a display card. So now we just have to do the sentiments, right? So my sentiments from that same set with the raven, I've got quote the raven nevermore. And I'm just using my Memento because it's handy. I know we've got a new black all-purpose ink pad out there, but I do not have it as of yet. So I'm going to use my good old Memento. And it looks like I just got ink all over that. Do I have a spare? Oh, I do. I do have a spare. Okay, good. When in doubt, I'd flip it over, but I have a spare, so we'll just use the spare. Alright. Try not to get black on these. Alright, so I've got one. Let me ink this back up in the black. Put this where I'm not going to put my fingers in it. Alright, so just in the center. The Nevermore, and this one is Quoth the Raven. So Edgar Allan Poe is one of my favorite Gothic poets. So when I saw the set, I was like, yep, I need that one. Okay. So our tags are done. And so I'm going to use dimensionals to put these on. So I'm going to put Nevermore here on the front, so make sure that it doesn't go beyond the bottom of the box so that you don't have a unsteady stand. Okay, and then I've got the second one, which goes before the Quoth the Raven. 2 banners. So even if they wanted to put it on their refrigerator with a magnet, it would still look really cute flat. So I think it's a win-win. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this cute little fun fold, and honest, it really will stand up when you balance it. See? And you know, if you've got friends who really love to get into the whole Halloween theme and spookiness and goth to celebrate, this might be one of those adult Halloween cards you could send out. So I hope you enjoyed. I hope you do some fun, and leave me some comments. Let me know you stopped by and watched the video. I'm really glad to be back. Alright, so until next time, when I share again, do some fun stamping. Bye!